Hello, welcome to Library Storytime. Our first story today is The Pig on the Hill. He looks mad. You see that face? Pig lived on the hill. The views were amazing. Yeah. Kind of cool when you can get up high and look down at everything. Yeah. He was very fond of cooking, especially cakes. He dabbled with models and did jigsaw puzzles. He liked to keep busy. His life was perfect. Until one morning when he opened his curtains. Good morning, said the duck. Beautiful day, isn't it? Pig agreed, but secretly wished the duck would just go away. He was spoiling the view. Such a marvelous spot. You can see for miles. Pig watched the duck. He seemed to be taking notes. Eventually, he flew off, and Pig breathed a sigh of relief. But the very next morning, the duck was back. I'm going to build a house here, he said. It's just such a marvelous spot. Over the next few days, there was hammering, sawing, banging, scraping, drilling. The duck even had a swimming pool delivered. Well, of course, he's a duck. He likes water, right? Mm-hmm. Pig tried his best to ignore this disruption, and eventually the duck's house was finished. Now that's pretty cool. Nice. Would you like to slide down that slide that goes all around the tree trunk and splash into the pool?
Yeah, I wish I was a duck. That'd be scary. I wish I was.
There was a knock at the door. Hi there, neighbor, said the duck. Pig had no choice but to let him in. His new neighbor was full of stories. The duck seemed to have been everywhere and done everything. Let's see here. Looks like he's been somewhere where it was snowy. No, that's an operating room. He's operating on another duck. And there it looks like he's going to take hikes through the mountains, mountain climbing maybe. And there he's flying like an airplane. And over there he's got the skis on, having fun on the water. And under the water he liked to scuba dive. Things that Pig had read only in books. But Duck had done them. Pig thought the duck was a bit of a show-off, and he was glad when he finally went home. As spring turned to summer, Pig saw more and more of his new neighbor. He's showing off again, isn't he? Look at him on a unicycle. Pig's working and the duck's playing. There were the normal disagreements, like the noise. But they discovered some common secrets. They both liked to work with plants. And like all good neighbors, they helped each other out. So they're working together there, especially in moments of crisis. Summer turned to fall. Look at all the pretty leaves. And before long, it was winter. One morning, Pig woke to find Duck had built a bridge between their houses. I thought I'd make it easier for you to pop on over, said Duck, since you can't fly. By the way, I'm having a party tonight. Will you come? But Pig didn't like crowds. So he said no. Pig tried to sleep, but the music seemed to go on and on and on and on. In the end, Pig couldn't stand it anymore. And that is really a mad-looking face. He stomped across the bridge to Duck's house. Will you please be quiet? The party stopped. Look at everybody and the looks on their faces. Wow. I'm very sorry, said Duck. He sent out all of his guests to go home at once. Pig went back to bed, but he couldn't sleep. He felt very bad for spoiling Duck's party. Change of heart, maybe? Thinking differently now, maybe? In the morning, he crossed the bridge again to apologize. But there was no one home. Duck had left a note. Gone away. Duck didn't return that day, or the next, or the next. As the weather grew colder, there was still no sign of his neighbor. Pig's own house fell quiet once again, just like it had been before Duck arrived, back when Pig thought it was perfect. Remember? Soon it was spring again, but Duck's house was still silent and empty. Then one day, there was a knock at Pig's door. Who do you think it is? Buenos dias, neighbor. Duck was back. He explained that every year when it got too cold, he flew off somewhere nice and warm. On the beach. No wonder he went to the water. Duck brought presents back from his holiday. He got a sombrero and a poncho for the pig. Soon things were back to normal. Duck is painting. Pig's reading his newspaper. Oops. That year, Pig decided he didn't want to spend winter alone again. So he had an idea. And the next time Duck went on a holiday, what do you think happened?
Pig went too.
Oh, have you read this book before? Oh.
But we just know because the duck went too.
You guessed it. Pig went too. Look at that contraption he's flying. Pretty cool. I wonder if they worked on it together. You think they did?
Yeah.
I do too.
I think Pig built it itself.
And there they are having a great holiday during the winter.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of things. So Pig found out why Duck always has all those things that he does all the time. They turned out to be good friends. That's a pretty good story. Okay, Miss Lisa has more for us.
All right, this one is called Grandpa Toad's Secrets. There's Grandpa Toad. I bet we all have a grandpa who's pretty wise that can tell us things that we might not know already. All right. This isn't part of a toad. What do you think that is?
A trunk from an elephant.
Think? One day, Grandpa Toad and Little Toad took a walk in the forest. It's fun to go take walks with grandmas and grandpas, isn't it? You know, Little Toad, said Grandpa, our world is full of hungry enemies. How can we protect ourselves, Grandpa? Asked Little Toad. Well, Grandpa Toad declared, I'm going to share my secrets with you. My first secret is to be brave. But you must be brave when facing a dangerous enemy. Do we see a dangerous enemy to a toad hiding in the grass?
It's a snake.
Yeah. Just then a hungry snake appeared. "Hello, Toads," hissed the snake. "I'm going to eat you for lunch." Little Toad screamed and ran away to hide. But was Grandpa scared? Look, he's running. Grandpa looks sort of scared. "Not a bit. Eat me if you can," Grandpa shouted fiercely. "But I may be more than you can swallow." Grandpa sucked in the air and got bigger and bigger and bigger. "Well," murmured the snake, "maybe some other time." And the snake slithered away. Yeah, some toads can puff themselves up really big like that, and the predator won't eat them. Little Toad jumped from the bushes. "Oh, Grandpa," he cried, "you were so brave. You were so wonderful." Grandpa Toad beamed with pleasure. "Thank you," he said. "But some enemies are just too big to scare away. My second secret is that you need to be smart. You must be smart when facing a dangerous enemy." Who's our next enemy?
A turtle.
You think that's a turtle? Let's see.
No, it's a hungry snake.
Just then a hungry snapping turtle appeared. "Hello, Toads," snapped the snapper. "I'm going to snap you up for a snack. Snap, snap, snap." Little Toad screamed and ran away to hide. But was Grandpa scared?
No.
Not a bit. "A snack?" asked Grandpa. "Wouldn't you rather have a feast?" "Why, sure," said the snapper. "Well," Grandpa whispered, "there's a tasty-looking snake. He just slithered by a couple moments ago. If you're hungry, you can go catch him to eat." "Gee, thanks for the tip," said the turtle, and he hurried off to hunt down the snake.
Wait, snapping turtles can eat snakes?
Yeah, in this story they can. Little Toad jumped from the bushes. "Oh, Grandpa," he cried, "you were so smart and you were so wonderful." Grandpa Toad beamed with pleasure. "Thank you," he said. "Now for my third and last secret." But before he could say another word, what in the world is this?
That doesn't look like a little bit. It's a bird.
A humongous monster appeared. "Hi, Toads," bellowed the monster. "I'm going to eat you guys up just for the fun of it." Little Toad screamed and he ran away to hide. But was Grandpa scared?
No. Oh, yes.
Yes, he was. He had never seen such a frightening creature. In all of his life, he tried to run away, but the monster caught him. Oh no. Little Toad hid in the bushes, shaking with fear. But he remembered Grandpa's secrets. Be brave and be smart. Be brave and be smart. He saw some wild berries. See the berries? And he quickly decided what he could do. Little Toad threw the berries at the monster. They splattered and they left red spots all over his legs. The monster did not even seem to notice. He was too busy making Grandpa Toad into a sandwich. Look at all that. Little Toad stepped bravely out of the bushes. "Grandpa, Grandpa," he yelled, "let that poor monster go." "What?" said the monster. "What?" yelled Grandpa. What is Little Toad up to? "Grandpa," said Little Toad, "it's not very nice of you to go around poisoning monsters. Your poison is already creeping up his legs. Soon he'll have spots all over his behind and then he's going to die. Shame on you, Grandpa." The monster looked at his legs and then he shouted, "Help! Help! Help me! These mean toads are poisoning me." monster. The monster ran away as fast as he could. Grandpa and Little Toad hugged each other. Whew, said Grandpa, that was a close call. It sure was, said Little Toad. Well, said Grandpa finally, you still haven't heard my third secret. Well, what is it? Asked Little Toad. What's the third secret? My third secret is this, Grandpa declared. In case of an emergency, be sure you have a friend that you can count on. Little Toad, you are brave. You are smart. You are wonderful. Now, it was Little Toad who beamed with pleasure. So he helped his grandpa out, didn't he? By being smart and brave, and tricking that mean old monster. So that was called Grandpa Toad's Secrets. Pretty cool book. Now, in that book, the toads did some things to scare away their predators, okay? They puffed up really big. Some toads are poisonous. If you touch them, then you get poison on you and you can get sick. And so we have an activity we're going to do. We've got some animals that do things. I'm going to give you guys a couple pictures here that do things to keep their predators away. So let's talk about animal defenses. Okay, here's another one. There you go. Whoops, give that one to over here. Here, take that one too. Okay, so I'm going to show you just a regular animal, and then we're going to think about how that animal changes when a predator comes by to try to eat them, okay? All right, let's start off with Mr. Porcupine. Porcupines are pretty neat little forest animals. They have all these quills down their back, and they're just walking along the forest. What happens if a human comes by or some other big animal? What does that porcupine do?
Their quills pop up.
All right, yeah, their quills pop up. Okay, that's fine too. Okay, and that not only do their quills pop up, but what else happens to those quills?
They shoot out.
They shoot, right? They go boom, and they bang away.
Sometimes they go on their face.
Yeah, and so like if there was a dog that was chasing him, your dog might come home with all these quills stuck in his face. It's not a very good thing, okay? Porcupines are pretty mean animals if they feel like they are being threatened. Okay. Here's another animal. We don't have too much in Indiana. They're further south. This is called an armadillo.
They roll up in a ball whenever they get scared.
Yes, and when they get scared, they will roll up into a little ball. Yeah, and so like if there was a fox or some other big animal that was going to try to eat that armadillo, he could come by and then he would just roll that little ball around because he's tucked up inside there and he's safe. Because this is like armor on him. He's got a lot of scales and it's very hard and tough.
Armor protects him.
Yeah, it does. All right. Let's talk about these chameleons. A lot of times chameleons actually can blend in, but they can also, they can blend in with a tree, they can blend in with a leaf.
They could blend in.
But look at this guy.
Through skin.
He changes super colors, right? So he can blend in with your sweater if he's on you. So he can blend in with all kinds of things. Isn't that a pretty neat defense? Okay, if we were scared, it would look a little funny if we just changed all colors, right? That's not what we do, is it?
We probably wish.
Okay. All right. Now, here's a little fishy. If a little fishy is swimming all by himself, a bigger fish could come and just swallow him up. So what do fish do?
They act like they're a bigger fish.
Right. They swim in what's it all called when they all swim together?
A coup?
A school, yeah. They swim together in a school, and so it makes it look a lot bigger. It looks like a bigger fish, and so they don't get eaten. That's pretty cool. All right, here's one of my favorite defenses. This is our little squid. What does that squid do? Yeah, let's go put it right up here, though. Yeah, he will spread out that ink. Okay, and then that makes him sort of disappear into the water, and so his predator can't see him anymore because he's got that ink all over. Yeah, then he can swim away and be safe. All right, what else do we have down here? Oh, we have these in Indiana, boys and girls. Ever see a skunk go loping around in the forest or in your backyard? We want to make sure we stay away from those because what will he do to you?
Yeah, you look at his tail and then you'll spray.
Yeah, he sprays this awful odor and this awful liquid, and it can get all over you.
And it's an awful smell. If it's a baby and the doctor takes, and the hospital takes the stink bag out, they can't spray.
Yeah, that's right. That is true, because some people keep them as pets, which I don't know that I'd want to do that, but it is a possibility. Yep.
Mom saved one once.
Really? That's pretty cool. All righty. Let's go with Mr. Rattlesnake. Whoop.
This is a rattlesnake.
That's the rattlesnake, yeah. Because snakes have a lot of really different defenses. Put the rattlesnake up here. And what about that rattlesnake? What does he have? He has a
He has a metal.
rattle, right? I can't make a rattle sound. Think about it like a little baby's rattle. It jiggles and jiggles, and it warns you to stay away from him, right? Very cool. All right. Even our pets, even our little house cats, what do? Oh my goodness, look at that house cat. Rawr, does he get his claws out, scrape you? You ever see one try to go up a curtain and then tear it when he's scared? They're sharp. Their little claws can be super, super sharp. Yeah, we got a couple more. We're about running out of space here, but here is a bunny rabbit. And some rabbits, not all rabbits, but some rabbits do what? Especially the Arctic hare. What does it do?
Some change colors.
That's right. In the winter, it will blend in with the snow. It camouflages itself in with the snow.
Especially polar bears. If you step on them, they will jump out, and then if you're on them, they will jump out, and if you fall down, they will attack you.
Here's another unique defense. This is a possum. We have these in Indiana too. What does the possum do to make sure it doesn't get eaten? Can you tell me what he's doing there? He's playing dead. Yeah, so he just looks like he's sound asleep. And what animal wants to eat another dead animal? Half of the fun of eating something is trying to, kill it and play with it until he's dead. And so having him just play dead, then the fox or whatever just goes away because he doesn't like that anymore.
Lots of animals play dead.
Yeah. All right, let's put this guy way up here. This is, you know what? I actually probably have these backwards, don't I? I guess it might be helpful if I wore my glasses. Snakes look a lot alike. I think this is our rattlesnake. And this is a cobra, which we luckily don't have here in Indiana. What does the cobra do? He will sit himself up, curl his head over, okay? And it doesn't really show it here, but some of those cobras have like a big hood. Their faces just expand and get wide. Yeah, and then they'll hiss at you, and then some of them will spit out the poison. Okay, pretty unique thing to do.
If they go on you, you'll get sick.
And then here's a little turtle, sort of like the armadillo. What does the turtle do? He will hide himself in a shell.
And if he does that, they can't eat him.
Right, they can't eat them. And so we have animals with quills, ones that roll up in a ball, ones that change color. Both of these change color. Ones that group together.
Like a school.
Ones that, they squirt out a stink. They squirt out poison. They squirt out ink. Pretty interesting that all those kind of animals squirt something out of their body. This kind of animal has the big claws. This guy hides in his shell. And I think this one probably wins for the most unique. He just plays dead. He just hangs out, and lays down, and just plays dead.
Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes it's too late.
Studying animals and how they defend themselves against predators is a pretty neat thing to do. I'm sure you boys and girls have done it in school. So enjoy learning about animals. Miss Kim?
All right, one more story today. Mela and the elephant. I don't know if it's Mela or Mila. Which do you like better?
It says Mila.
You like Mila better? Let's do Mila.
It says Mila. Yeah, that's what it says. It says Mila.
Okay, I'm convinced. Mila set out to explore the banks of the Ping River near her home. Her little brother followed to the edge of the yard, hoping she'd take him along. "What will you give me if I take you?" He had nothing to offer. "Then you stay home," Mila announced. She turned and skipped along the road and across the grassy field before reaching the steep river bank. She watched the water sparkle and splash below. Mila hurried down to the river's edge. When she reached the dock, she saw a large fish swimming by. What a fine dinner that fish would make, Mila thought. She hopped into her uncle's boat, grabbed his net, and tossed it far into the river to scoop up the silvery fish. But moments later, she was drifting swiftly downstream. Must be a really strong fish. He's pulling her.
Yeah, if they're big, they will pull.
The current was so strong, too strong to paddle back, and before she knew it, Mila was swept deep into the dense jungle. After a long while, the boat caught against a tangle of tree roots. Mila stepped out onto a large rock. She craned her neck to look back up the river. She was a long way from home. A crocodile appeared along the shore. "Crocodile, will you help me get home? I'll tie a rope to your tail and you can row my boat back upstream." "What will you give me for my help?" he asked. "You can have this fish I caught." The crocodile agreed. But when Mila tossed him the fish, he snapped it up and swam away. "Wait!" she called after the crocodile, but he had disappeared under the water. That was not nice at all, was it?
He tricked her.
He sure did. Mila looked around her. Tall trees blocked out most of the sun's light. Leaves stirred overhead and the river rushed at her side. She pointed herself upstream and started to walk. A leopard slinked into sight. "Leopard, I am lost. Do you know a way back to the village?" "I do. What will you give me if I show you?" Mila thought a moment. "You can have my sweater. It will keep your cubs warm and on cool nights." Mila held her sweater out for the leopard to see, but the leopard snatched it up and leaped away.
The animals keep on tricking her.
They sure do. They are tricky, tricky animals. "How foolish of me," she said and sighed. She walked on and found a narrow path. Soon she was surrounded by towering trees wrapped with ropey vines. 3 monkeys dangled overhead. "Monkeys, can you show me a way through the forest back to the village?" "What will you give us if we help you?" one chattered. Mila held out her backpack. "You can have this pack to carry fruit as you travel through the jungle." But the biggest monkey grabbed it from her, and they all swung away. She was tricked again, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Mila slumped to the ground and began to cry. Night was falling, and soon darkness would settle over the jungle. She shivered. How would she get home now? Soon she heard the rustling and snapping of branches. An elephant lumbered his way toward her. Big elephant. Not sure she has anything to offer him. "Child, are you lost?" the elephant asked. "I will give you a ride to the village." Mila cried even harder. "But I have nothing left to offer you." "It would make my heart happy to help you," the elephant said. "I don't need anything in return." He lowered his trunk for Mila to climb on his great warm back, and he carried her all the way to the village. Very nice of that elephant. Mila slid from the elephant's back, grateful to be home. She pressed her palms together in thanks and felt the elephant's strong trunk embrace her. "Thank you," she said. And that is the end of the story. So, thank you was well worth it, I'm sure. Well, that's all we have for you today, and we hope you had a good time with us. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.